about us. Think about you.
Hello. What's going on? You guys are catching us as we're preparing for the show. We're ready for a great episode tonight. Roel, Foxy Moxie, thank you guys. Grandma Mary, hello. I'm getting ready to go live here on Instagram. See if they catch me over there, which I think they are. Hello. All right, I think we are live in all places. Let's see here. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Anybody catch the second episode with Dr. Matuk? Right here. Anybody catch this? A Guide to Cancer Treatment Choices. Shout out to Jenny for the thumbnail, making the call. Dr. Matuk just does an incredible job of humanizing that entire experience. And it was super encouraging. It's a kind of a follow-up to this episode, Cancer Treatment with Dr. Jamal Matuk out of the Tri-Cities. Anybody watch that? Anybody check both episodes? If you have, let me know. Let me know what you thought. I see we're over here. Hey, guys, we're taking questions on Instagram as well. All right, let's see here. Real quick, and we also did a little Q&A highlight. Talked a little bit about nicotine. For those of you who stayed for the entire show, you probably saw this little segment. We cut it up. Huge shout out to Zach for chopping it up for us and getting it on its own little episode there on the YouTube channel. Okay, cool. Rachel, it was so good to see you today. It was so good to see you in Kingsport. Hope you guys are doing wonderful. Hope y'all are sitting down as a family, having fun, having a wonderful evening. Thank you, Foxy Moxie. Thank you, Roel. Great question, Foxy Moxie. If you guys got questions for Doc, he will be here in just a minute. Let's see. Is my lighting good, Mom, in the back? We good? Cool. All right. We are gathering questions here. I cannot see them yet, but I will here in just a second. And then we put this in our weekly. Again, if you guys are not subscribed to Performance Weekly, please do. It should show up in your inbox around 3-ish. Today it was 3:15. Foods that lower blood pressure. This is a throwback episode of Dive Into Diet with nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt. Does a great job of going over a few natural ways to lower your blood pressure. If that's something you're interested in, he does a great job of making that super practical for everybody. Wayne, we might have to ask Doc that. I got no skills. I got no skills with the tunes. But as you can see over there to my left, his right, those are the guitars are ready to roll. Abby, I see you. Hold on one second. Okay, so we are live on Instagram. Jenny, can you check my Instagram and see how we look over there? Thank you. We are cool. I'm seeing questions come through. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lisa. I'm excited for tonight's show, too. I hope you're feeling much, much better this week. Hope everyone's feeling great in here tonight. Anybody new? Do we have any new faces, names? Anybody who's first time joining us? If it's true, I'm talking Instagram as well. Let me know where you're at, where you're from, and take a little inventory here. We're going to let a few more people come in. Getting the podcast set up. Hello. All right. This is real behind the scenes. Check. All right. I see Doc's on his way. Tom, thank you, man. You can't see us on Facebook? Rachel, can you guys see us on Facebook? Whitney, I see you. What's going on, Whitney? Great to see you. We are live here. I'm taking questions from Instagram as well. So if you have a question for Doc, put in the comments. I'll be watching all of it. Okay, cool. Check, Tom. I'm seeing some people are seeing us and some people are not. So I hope we are live on Facebook. I'm trying to see if I can tell. Still nothing on Facebook. Yeah, we ready to roll. What's up?
Hey, Ben. How are you?
Let me turn this on. Oh, sweet. Okay, so we're live to some, and we're not live to others on Facebook. That's your mic right there. Whenever you're talking, Eunice, thank you. I love that question. We're gonna let a few people get in here live. Dad, you can say hi to Instagram right there. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. You got your voice back. I'm happy to hear.
My voice is back.
You're back.
That's very good.
Ready to roll. We have a couple things to talk about before we. Okay, cool. Thank you, PM. Edna, what's up? Thank you, Teresa. We got some questions here. If I can see here. Okay, thank you. There's one with iron levels, I believe. All right, we're going to be here till around 8 o'clock, guys. So if y'all have a question for Dr. Rogers, go ahead and put in the comments. We're going to try to get to every single one. And real quick, before we get started, I just want to say thank you. There's 30 of you guys here with us tonight so far. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us on these Tuesdays, talking health and wellness. If we can help in any way, if there's any questions you have, please put them in the comments. We're going to do the best we can. See Best Life I've Ever Lived, Jenny J. and Rach over there on Instagram and Facebook. I love it. Tell me how your past week has been.
It's been great. It's a rainy night, so nobody wants to be outside tonight playing pickleball or riding your bike. So I'm glad to be here.
You know what, guys? Let's get some people in here. Let's it's a rainy night here. And okay, thank you, Tom. There is no reason not to be hanging out on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram talking about health and wellness with us tonight.
Would you rather be watching Andy Griffith's show?
Look at this. I'm going to put this up for you to see. Because, I think sometimes we give Dad a hard time, but people are here for the tunes, man. They're not even here for your wellness knowledge.
I'm going to get ready. What do you want to hear? Blackbird?
We might have to end with some Blackbird or something. I know that's
a tough one.
I know it's nerve-wracking.
That's a tough one.
Well, before we got questions coming in, thank you guys in advance. If you got a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. I see. Well, real quick, team. We're gonna. I want to just say, you were in Washington. What happened in Washington
last week?
You were in Washington last week. Kind of last
there's a lot
minute.
going on in Washington. There's just a great, opportunity to go to Washington last week, right at the last minute, and went with Bob Harshbarger to visit Diana, his wife, who is our U.S. Congresswoman. So they invited me up to meet with Brian Johnson, that's why I wore this shirt. The biohacking shirt. He's the ultimate biohacker in the world. You've heard about him. Watch his Netflix special.
He's all over Twitter. I love Brian Johnson.
He's a multimillionaire because he invented Venmo, payment platform that everybody's probably used. But when he sold it, he became multi-millionaire, and he dedicated the rest of his life to kind of biohacking. And he has this company called Blueprints. And if you look at all his shirts and videos, it's don't die. It's on his, that's his motto, don't die. So he came up and wanted to visit some congressmen. And so Dan invited me to go up and talk to him because she knows I'm into the biohacking. Bob and Diana really helped me a lot with functional medicine many years ago.
Yeah,
they've been into it, and bioidentical hormones, etc. So it was just a great opportunity to sit down with him in their office and talk to him about, ways you can kind of live longer and healthier. His goal, because Diana said, why are you here to meet me? And he goes, well, number one, I want to make friends, and friends that have influence, especially in Congress, because our country is a terrible country to live in health-wise. I mean, it ranks 33 in mortality. So despite having all this money in the U.S., spending all this money in healthcare, that we've got a very poorly functioning healthcare system, as everybody out there knows. So his goal is to have Americans live longer than any other country in the world. So think about it. If they're living longer, their health span is going to be longer too, usually. So he's really into all this stuff. He told me he was the most tested human in the planet.
Yep.
And I asked him,
I believe that.
what do you mean? I mean, he gets tested daily for multiple blood samples and salivary urine. I mean, every possible way you could get checked. You could get checked. He gets checked. He spends $2 million a year on his own personal health care, including supplements and things like that. But we talked about average person can't do that.
Yeah.
So his big thing really is sleep.
I was going to ask you, I remember, I saw you the morning after you got back, and he like dropped some pearls on you, like, because he's obviously tested more than anybody. Like, what are the big things he's looking at? Is he looking at telomeres? Is he looking at,
everything?
What levels is
head
he?
to toe MRIs, genetic testing.
That's wild.
A lot of screening, a lot of little biohacks that we do. But he said the most important thing that you can do if you don't have the money to do anything is just when you lay down to go to bed at night, take your resting pulse. And the lower it is, the better. I think his is like 40, maybe even lower. So he does a lot of meditation and relaxing, and he sleeps a lot. Plus, he only eats one meal a day. So he stops eating at 11 a.m. So he doesn't eat a lot. He's real fit. He's younger looking than he is. I'll flash a picture up there of me and him at some point if I can. But in any event, sleep to him is the most important thing. And
I think that's
of course
right.
He takes all the supplements, and he measures the biologic age of all his different organs. And even though he's 43, 44 years old, most of his organs age out at about 18. So it's an interesting guy. I mean, he's very, a little bit eccentric maybe. I mean, he's real brilliant, but very nice. Yep. It was just great to sit down and talk to him. I certainly appreciate Bob and Diana giving me that opportunity.
That's so cool.
And
what a great opportunity. Is it anybody like testing that your resting pulse right before bed? I have not tested that myself, so I'd like to try that out.
I tested it. Yes, since I've been home, I've been testing it. My average pulse rate through my Aura ring, and he uses all these different kinds of biometric ways to measure things, but mine was, I think my average resting heart rate at night is, I think it's 58.
It's not bad.
But I can't get it in the 40s. I wish I could. But yeah, I got a great opportunity to meet a lot of different people up there, including Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
I had a great meeting with him. Got to sit in on a meeting. It turns out in Congress, there's like 6 doctors and a couple of pharmacists that meet on a regular basis. And Dan asked me if I wanted to join them that morning, and of course, because I wanted to meet Dr. Oz, who was special guest at that meeting. He's the head of CMS, Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. So he's a smart man.
Dr. Oz, man, he's
not just a television personality or a heart surgeon. No. This guy is brilliant. I mean, he's
Harvard trained, right?
He's Ivy League. I don't know if it's Columbia. Yeah, he's an Ivy League heart surgeon. Then he had the show for years that was really good. I like him because he loves functional medicine, like I do, and he's real open-minded about a lot of things, but he's really trying to improve our overall healthcare, really fit in good with the Brian Johnson talk, because, he knows that this thing's really screwed up as far as governmental control of medicine, and he's in there trying to straighten it out. And I think he's doing a good job and is going to do a good job. We have a great healthcare team up there right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never been anything like this before.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It's very exciting. And we all talked about our own practice of medicine, because these congressmen actually practice medicine when they go back home for a couple days a week. And we talked about various abuses of the system and the Medicare. He was railing against these Medicare Advantage plans like I rail against all the time. They're bilking us taxpayers out of billions.
I don't think people realize
They don't realize it. When they sign up for Medicare Advantage, they don't realize what you're doing. Get Plan G. I've told you that a million times. When you sign up for Medicare, which I'm on, but they are doing such fraud and abuse, especially United Healthcare. Now, he didn't call them out, but everybody knows they're the number one abuser of our taxpayer money is United Healthcare.
Yeah.
I mean, they are scoundrels. They really are. They don't deserve to be murdered, the CEO, like he was, but they are scoundrels. They do not care about your health at all. Then he talked about prior approvals, how onerous it is for us doctors to get a medicine or a procedure approved that the patient needs. And then he talked a lot about the PBMs, something that I rail against all the time, and so does Diana, being a pharmacist. Pharmacy benefit managers who rake up all the profits of these expensive drugs. And these are guys in suit and ties on Wall Street negotiating prices between pharmacies and insurance companies, big pharma and insurance companies. For example, for every Ozempic pen sold, they're like $1,200. They're the reason you can't afford it. Of every Ozempic pen sold, they make 62% of it.
It's insane.
It's unbelievable, the abuse. So he's trying to do something about all this stuff. And, he assured us that he's not trying to cut out Medicaid like people say. He's just trying to make it better. Actually, they're going to make it way better. They're actually going to spend more money on it. They just don't want people on the Medicaid rolls that don't deserve to be there. They can actually work.
Yeah.
So, it's just really interesting, some of the cases of fraud and abuse that we listened to. So it was just a great opportunity to go down there and be, mingle a little bit with people that have some power.
So cool.
Well, I don't know what I was doing there, but I really enjoyed it. And got a good opportunity. So, I know why I was there, because of Diana Harshbarger. It gave me the opportunity. And, it was great.
I think there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to be excited about. I see Rachel's comment there. I bet you were fangirling. I bet he was too.
Yeah, I mean, I was really enjoying it.
Robbie, what's up? I see you. It's such a great experience, and I appreciate you sharing that with us and just sharing what you saw. And I'm uplifted. I hope the people that are with us tonight are uplifted with what's going on. And I encourage everybody just to continue to do your own research, continue to take care of your own health. And seems like we got some good people in there fighting for everybody.
We've got a great staff in there now, and hopefully they can turn things around a little bit. But like I always say, you're responsible for your own health.
Yep.
That's why we do the type of medicine we do, and why we have the show, because people want to know what they can do.
Yep. Because
they're not given great advice by their doctors these days. They think they're getting good advice, but it's cookbook medicine.
Yeah.
They're not getting good medical care now, because we're more unhealthy now than we were 30 years ago.
And again, it's not to say anything bad about the doctors. It's more of the system that they're in.
It's not the doctor's fault.
Yeah, it's a system that they don't have another way to do it.
They don't, and plus they have this thing called cognitive dissonance going on. Read Marty McCary's book that he just wrote. Now he's in administration now too. So he's a fantastic guy up at Johns Hopkins, surgeon, who talks about how doctors are kind of in a way brainwashed into doing cookbook medicine the way they learned it 30 years ago, and they're not open to new ways of treating people or getting to the root cause of the problem. Fantastic guy.
Martin McCary. What was the book you read? Breakthrough. Yeah. All right, guys, we are answering questions. Thank you for letting us kind of talk about that. I hadn't gotten a chance to talk to Doc about his experience down there. So thank you for letting us talk a little bit. Instagram, I see you guys. I see you, Raleigh, April, Julie. What's going on? Great to see everybody in here. We got a lot of friends over on Instagram. Thank you, guys. We're going to answer questions for you. If you have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments. My brother Steve's in the building. Steve, what's up? Let's see this question here. Seen info recently on red light / infrared and already have a handheld unit that my husband uses for his back and really likes it. But I've been looking at some full body mats. So I wanted to get your opinion about these and also ask if the handheld or mat will penetrate through fabric or needs to have direct contact with skin. This is a red light question.
Yeah, directly with the skin. You've got to take your shirt off or, all the stuff because it really does not penetrate as well. Usually the red light is combined with an infrared light as well. It works deeper if you do, which is what I prefer. But I like Lumara. There's a lot of good ones out there. I have a handheld too that I've had for how many years? 15 years?
Long time.
That I have the mat, have the face mask, I have the infrared sauna. Have a ton of have the hanging one. I mean, it's just fantastic. So get a red light, but use it on bare skin for about 20 minutes twice a day. You'll like it.
All right. Thank you for that question that came over email. This one is, I've heard about a relatively new medicine for erosive GERD / Voquenza, PCAB, which says it can heal the damage in your esophagus after an appropriate course of the drug. Are you familiar, and what are your thoughts about it?
I'm not familiar with it. So I don't know.
No.
I don't know. It's not something I know about. So it's probably some new device that the GI guys are using. Interesting.
What we'll do, if you're with us live, we will take note of this and hopefully get back to it a little bit later with a little more research there. And I'm going to have to just kind of audible this one here. I'm looking at it on my email. The question is, my husband's iron level is 60. Should he take a supplement? If so, suggestions on brand and how much?
Well, that's a question that you really need to know more about the situation. Do you mean ferritin level or iron level? If it's usually what we check is ferritin levels, because it really represents the storage form of iron, and it's usually a better test to get than an iron level. But really anything over 50 is adequate. I don't know if he's anemic, if he's losing blood. In general, I don't like to put people on iron, especially adults. Menstruating women, you put on iron because they get anemic with it. Now, it is true that if you have a really low ferritin level, certain things may not function as well, like your thyroid. Excuse me. But so I'd have to know a little bit more about, why, if your husband's an adult and if he's anemic, we need to find out why he's anemic. Now, sometimes we never know because your bone marrow doesn't put out enough red blood cells. So there could be a lot of different types of anemia, aplastic. There's all kinds of different things. So, it's hard to say. And again, I wouldn't pop him on any iron unless there's a really good reason for it. Like recent blood loss or, something like his reticulocytes are not cranking out the red blood cells every 120 days like they're supposed to. But if it's a ferritin level of 60, I think that's fine. I mean, some people would argue that since ferritin is a storage form of iron, if you have a low one, it means you're utilizing your iron. So if he's not anemic and the differential looks good on the CBC, then unless he's having symptoms, probably nothing needs to be done about it. I don't like to put people on iron.
Yeah, I've heard you say that.
too much iron is not good for you. So I rarely have to put a man on iron unless he has some form of blood loss.
Is there for that particular man, is there a brand you like, or is there any?
Well, if somebody
does it
had blood
matter?
loss and I need to put them on iron, I'll tell you the best treatment for iron is beef liver capsules,
Okay.
grass-fed beef liver capsules. But I like the Life Extension makes a good iron plus protein. The problem with iron is it's really hard on your stomach when you take ferrous sulfate tablets like most people will be prescribed or told to go get. But I like the Life Extension iron plus protein.
Or the beef
And remember,
liver.
if you are low on iron, you need to take vitamin C with it. Makes it absorb better. So
it's a great question that came over email. Thank you in advance for that. I'm also going to read this for everybody. So bear with me here. And I missed this last week, so I apologize to this listener. I missed this question, so we're going to hopefully help out a little bit this week. I am wanting Dr. R's opinion on eating for your blood type diet. I've had stomach issues over the past few years. Note, I do try to eat healthy and exercise at least 4 days per week. I feel like a lot of meat and certain vegetables seem to bother me. I tried the elimination diet for about a year to no avail. I've had the GI map test with Robin Riddle, colonoscopy, and endoscopy. I'm still waiting on results from the biopsies they took during the endoscopy. The doctor told me to take Prilosec and Pepcid. Not a fan of taking those. I've been taking Digestial for about 2 years now. My blood type is AB negative. I'm thinking about trying the diet, which is the eating for your blood type diet, but want your opinion before I dive into it.
Well, you've got a rare blood type for one thing. It just depends on what's going on. I have had people follow the blood type diet, and some of them will swear by it. In the long run, most of them usually drop off of it because basically it's a diet that's specific to your blood type. You have A, B, AB, and then you have O, and then you have something called an RH factor, which makes it plus or minus. So really, I think you have the rarest blood type there is, because positive is more common than negative. O is the most common. O positive is the most common. O negative is, of course, a universal donor because anybody can get O negative blood because it doesn't have antigens that's going to react to your particular blood type. So blood typing is interesting.
It is interesting.
As far as the diet goes, there's really not a lot of scientific backup with it. There's no great studies on it. I've had a few people tell me they like it, and I've looked into it for patients, and usually what I find is it's more of a non-lectin diet anyway. Lectins seem to be the bad boy with antigens in your blood. And again, if you listen to what Gundry says about lectins, and that's one reason we use Digestial, because it has chitosan in it, which can block down glutens and lectins. But lectins are plant proteins that are really in the plant because they don't want to get eaten by animals. So it makes the animal's stomach sick. That's why so many people can't tolerate lectins. So they have it mapped out. If you're type A, you're probably better off being a vegetarian. If you're type O, you're probably better off being a carnivore. And I'm not sure about the specifics. It's been a long time since I've really looked at it because I've had nobody that could really stick to it for very long. In the end, it's, the best thing is out of that type of diet because it cuts all the ultra processed foods out. So I think that's why it probably works. Now, whether there's some stuff we don't know, probably.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot about medicine, and certainly blood types haven't been studied as much as they probably should. But as it relates to the food you eat, it's a little stretchy,
So it sounds like you're not super high on eating for your blood type. Is there any sort of
I've had patients do it, but long term, I just don't think it, it's that effective. It's the fact that you're cutting out lectins.
Okay.
And you're not eating ultra processed foods, and you're
Okay.
going to get better anyway. So who knows whether it worked or not?
Okay. It's a great question. I hope that helps a little bit. If anybody in the comments has tried that diet and had success, let us know. I see Montana's in here. Montana, so good to see you. We got Blonde Beauty. What's going on? We're over here on Instagram as well. So if y'all have questions, we're answering over here as well. I got one more question that came in throughout the week. Then we're going to get to live questions for you guys. The question is, if BPC is better, if BPC 157 is better than L-glutamine for gut healing, whether it is or not. Okay. Is BPC 157 better than L-glutamine for gut healing?
Works better for me.
Interesting. You're taking oral.
I have both of them in my medicine cabinet. I've tried them both. And back when I had COVID, the second time I had COVID, it was like a cold, but it really affected my gut. And I really went through a lot of gut stuff as a result of COVID. And for like months, and I tried everything in the world. And what really finally got me better was a carnivore diet and budesonide. You know, probably ended up having microscopic colitis when they did my colonoscopy. Unfortunately, they didn't think to biopsy what looks like normal tissue, which is the only way to make that diagnosis. So, you know, I hope your pathology comes back okay. But if it is microscopic colitis, then, you know, definitely a course for a couple months or maybe longer of oral budesonide is good. But for me, BPC 157 is the winner. I really like it for gut health. You know, if you have an injured knee or ankle or tendon, the injectable form is better. And there might be some other things coming out with like patches and things like that maybe, because when you do
the peptides
for BPC 157, which is a peptide, it's a very much of a healing peptide. But if you have an injury, you have to inject it locally into the area of injury every day for 30 days. So BPC 157 orally, which I take daily, or at least 6 days out of the week, is more for gut health. But it helps you overall, I think, as far as repair goes. But it's a great product. I would recommend it.
It's a great question. It's funny. You have both in your vitamin cabinet. And that's such a perfect person to ask. So thank you for that question. Real quick, I'm going to put this up because Wayne is timely here. So you agree with Gundry on lectins?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne, for that. Okay, we're going to go to the live questions here. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. We're going to be with you for another 30 minutes or so. Answer as many as we can. I see Holden over here as well. I'm going to get to Holden over there on Instagram. We're looking over here as well. Yes, you can, Holden. I see you. Okay, let's get to Foxy Moxie.
Do you know who Holden Caulfield was?
Holden Caulfield?
Holden Caulfield.
Yeah, it's a literary character. It's Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah. Holden Caulfield. You're probably named after Holden.
I love that. That's probably like one of the more famous characters.
It really is.
Yeah, Holden Caulfield.
Yeah.
All right, Foxy Moxie. My friend has ovarian cancer and taking chemo. Can she also take fenbendazole at the same time?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, she should be taking it. Again, I can see very few contraindications to this. And with cancer treatments, you need to do the things your oncologist says, plus you need to look at the adjunctive treatments. I don't call them alternative treatments. I call them adjunctive treatments. And I certainly would be on fenbendazole and probably ivermectin as well, along with some other things like IV vitamin C, curcumin, milk thistle, CBT, melatonin, the whole gamut. Yeah. But yeah, tell her to check it out. Do your own research, of course. Talk to patients who have taken it.
All right. Let's thank you, Foxy Moxie, for asking that on behalf of your friend. I hope she's okay. Eunice is asking natural way to help meibomian glands.
Yeah, the eye glands, tear ducts type. I think moist heat is the best way to clear them up, and massage. You can massage after moist heat in a downward fashion with like the stick part of a Q-tip, and you can actually clear them out. I actually had a procedure by my optometrist one time. It was a heating device that kind of heated up, and you kind of milk them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of that. Eunice, thank you for bringing up this topic. It's a great question there. I'm going to run real quick to Instagram. See if I can move that. I don't know why I'm not able to. There we go. All right, for Holden here on Instagram, thoughts on getting the shingles vaccine, 58 years old, and have shingles one time, otherwise healthy. What's your thoughts on this for Holden?
I took one shingle shot of the Shingrix, which is a new 2-shot series. Felt horrible. Personally, I don't like it. Again, that goes against general thinking, but I didn't take the second one. I'm not going to take it. I just don't like it. Certainly, if you had shingles, if you're going to take it, don't take it within 6 months of when you had shingles. But I had a patient this week tell me that they didn't take it, and her two brothers took it, and they both got shingles soon after they took it. She never has had shingles. So, I'm not a total anti-vaxxer. I'll tell you what, the more I learn about these vaccines, the less I like them. We've been fed a load of crap about a lot of these vaccines, I think. Even Dr. Oz, I was talking with him, we got into this discussion on a little bit about vaccines. And he said that, and he's certainly not an anti-vaxxer, but he said there's no way he would give his newborn grandchild a Hep B vaccination in the hospital like they get.
Yeah.
They also routinely get on the first day of their life. And there's no reason at all, unless your mom has Hep B. They can be tested for that if they're at risk. But to give it to a healthy infant is just insane, in my opinion. Maybe the same thing with vitamin K that they get. So it's unless they're going to get a circumcision within the 5 days, but it's check. Do your own research into these things. Read a couple books like Turtles All the Way Down.
Yep.
Vax, unvaxxed. There's a whole new thinking about the way we're approaching vaccines. I mean, look at the smallpox debacle from many years ago, how many people that killed. So personally, no, you make your own mind up, but that's the whole point of this thing. Make your own decision. If you're hesitant, don't do it. The other thing about shingles is very treatable. Again, you can be left with post-herpetic neuralgia. It can hurt a lot and scar and all this stuff. I've seen everything, but you treat shingles early, you can arrest it and shut it down all the time, not all the time, but most of the time. So personally, I'm not taking the second one, but and again, it's probably not going to hurt you badly.
Yeah.
But you be ready to be a little bit sick, especially after that second one, from what I've heard. But anyway, that's my thought about that. So
thank you, Holden, for that question over there on Instagram. I see Miss May's in here. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're answering questions on Instagram as well. I'm going to go back here to, let's see here. Let's go to Jay. Jay's asking, I'd like to try BPC 157 for diverticulosis, but is it safe? I know there has not been a lot of research on humans. Another BPC 157 question.
There's been a lot of people that take it, though, without any complications that I'm aware of. And certainly you can. Again, diverticulosis just means you have pouches on your colon. About 50% of adults have some of those. Diverticulitis is a different matter. That's infection of those pouches, and that can be very painful, can make you end up in the hospital, that type of thing. But yes, that is not going to hurt you. Again, watch out for what you eat. Don't eat a lot of processed foods, and try to avoid seeds and nuts, although they said last year it doesn't make any difference. I know it does because I've been practicing for 40 years, and I also grew up in a surgeon's household who operated on those things a lot. And he said, don't eat nuts and seeds if you have diverticuli, because if they get caught in there and sluggish, especially if you get constipated, they can get infected. That's a very common reason to have GI bleeding, red rectal bleeding. It's usually internal hemorrhoids or diverticula, what we call a tick bleed. Those things can bleed and get infected. So his big thing was eating enough fiber. My surgeon brother too. Dad used to mix Metamucil up every morning. I used to watch him.
I remember
and so did my brother. They were big believers in that.
I remember the Metamucil.
Now, some people don't like Metamucil because it makes them bloated. Some people. So it just depends on what your gut milieu is like. So, but sure, you can try it.
Thank you, Jay, for the question. Let's get to Connie Lynn. Connie Lynn, what's up? Want to do a turmeric supplement. Any suggestions on a brand?
I like, of course, we like our pain formula that has a bunch of stuff in there because it doesn't have any fillers in there. That's our pain vitamin. I think Life Extension makes a good one too. Standard Process, I think, makes a good one. There's a lot of good. Just don't buy never buy a cheap turmeric or a cheap omega-3 or fish oil tablet.
I've heard the same thing.
There's a lot of them out there. You can push the dose up a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I love turmeric.
Thank you, Connie Lynn. I hope that helps. Let's get to Teresa. What to do for a grease burn to keep it from scarring?
First thing to do is put ice on it. When you have a grease burn, put ice on it to cool it down. But any kind of burn, I like Silvadene. That's kind of what we're taught to use for burns. So that'll cool it off a little bit. The other thing you might want to do is, I think Aquaphor is a really good thing for scars and burns. Aquaphor, which you can get for $5 at any pharmacy or grocery store. I like it better than the standard Vaseline petroleum jelly. It's just a lot less petroleum in it.
Yeah.
So we think petroleum, think gas. So, but Aquaphor, a lot of the derm people like Aquaphor.
Teresa, I hope that helps. Hope it's okay. I hate those types of burns. Okay, let's get to Mike. Mike, what's going on, man? Great to see you. What are Doc's current favorite vitamins / minerals, etc., to control high blood pressure?
Hey, Mike. Hope you're doing well. I like hawthorn. I like aged garlic. I like berberine. Pycnogenol. Sometimes I'll try that. In a healthy lifestyle, cutting out ultra processed foods. And, and salt in most cases does not affect your blood pressure. About 20% of people that have hypertension, salt makes it worse. The other 80%, salt's good for them. So potassium is another one. And also magnesium, Mike. Definitely take magnesium.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that may be my favorite one there. So all those are good. And of course, getting a good night's sleep, not having sleep apnea, exercising every day, meditation, getting your heart rate down like Brian Johnson's talking about.
Yeah.
But, certainly, gosh, so many people are on blood pressure medicines. It's unbelievable.
I'm putting you on the spot here, but you mentioned to me a new form of salt that you like. You showed it to me, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. Remember, there's a new salt you really like.
There is. I usually like Redmond's
real
salt.
It wasn't Redmond's. It was new. You heard it from
starts
somebody.
with an M.
Monsanto?
It's flake. It's flakes. It's made in England. I'll get you the name of it.
Yeah, I knew I'd put you on the spot with that. But
it's supposed to be the most pure type.
Anybody know? Most pure type of salt starts with an M. It's down there. It's in the kitchen. Let's go to Megan Inspirations. Megan, what's going on? Great to see you. Let's see, another cholesterol question. If someone has high cholesterol, could you assume that the liver is maybe sluggish?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or the liver either isn't getting rid of the cholesterol or It's cranking out too much because of genetics usually. But I see people all the time. I saw a lady today, her cholesterol was over 300, but I wasn't worried because she had a type A LDL pattern and a small LP little a. I mean, her particle size was still a little bit too small, like most everybody's is, but her HDL was very high and her triglycerides were low, and she certainly didn't want to go on a statin. So, and her calcium scoring was 0, great blood pressure, non-diabetic. So I don't slap everybody on a statin, even though their cholesterol may be 300. And diet has very little to do with what your cholesterol is going to be doing. If you get on a low cholesterol diet, which is a terrible thing to do, your liver is just going to make more cholesterol.
Yeah.
Your body actually needs cholesterol. You just want high, good cholesterol and large particle size. So another natural way to lower cholesterol, if you really need it lowered, and some do, niacin. You got to be careful with the doses and work your way up because it flushes everybody. And the non-flush niacin is called niacinamide. This doesn't help your cholesterol at all, although it does help other things like preventing basal cell skin cancers. Niacinamide is great for that, which is a form of niacin that's non-flush. But
so could be a sluggish liver, but
could be, yeah,
but not necessarily always.
Yeah, definitely could be.
Okay.
The liver can only process so much fat, and that's why people get fat, is because they can't get rid of it. The liver is an organ that it's a detoxifier. So if you overwhelm it with ultra processed foods and sugar, it's congested.
Yeah.
And you need to lose fat. You also need to, and you can usually tell based on your liver function test if you're getting a congested liver, plus symptoms. But milk thistle's great. I love the new GLP-1s and GIPs for that. They can reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver. That's a really good trick. I think everybody's going to end up on those. I just think so.
It kind of feels that way.
It's the only drug ever produced that treats the human condition.
And by human condition,
what do I mean about that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean about that? Humans are weak. There's no such thing as willpower. The human condition is they're going to revert back to what's most comfortable for them.
Okay.
I.e. laziness, can't stick to a diet, don't exercise, don't sleep. It's called the human condition. And this drug, which I also call injectable accountability, is the only drug ever produced like that. I mean, it's a blockbuster, great drug. Again, I'm a functional medicine doctor, but I blend the best of allopathic medicine with the best of, alternative medicine. Yeah. And this thing is amazing. And even berbeриne's kind of like a natural GLP-1, but certainly not as potent as the new ones. And of course, I do like the GIPs. They're way less side effects. They work better. And they're working on something called a triple G, and it's going to have a GLP, GIP, and another G in there that's going to work even better. And it's probably going to be an oral medication. It's called retatrutide. You can already get it in some places, not legally. It's not approved yet by the FDA, but you could find it, if you wanted, through some of these places. I don't trust a lot of these. You want
to be careful.
Yeah, but so
it's interesting. Great question, Megan. I'll get to your next one here. Let's see. Megan, did that help any? And real quick for Megan, any recommendations for long COVID test to take, a protocol to look into? So it seems we just want to dive a bit more into long COVID. Had to cough and need to clear his throat, I guess, since he had COVID. It concerns me. Any thoughts for long COVID on this one? Like what to do?
It's very common.
Yeah.
I think most people that get COVID end up with long COVID, whether that's for a shorter period of time or a longer period of time. It depends on their immune system, but certainly there's a lot of ways we treat it. including ivermectin is the number one thing that I use for that. But there's a host of other stuff like quercetin, milk thistle, nicotine patches, methylene blue.
I've heard you say nicotine patches a few times.
There's all kinds of, it just depends. And of course, low dose naltrexone.
Yeah.
If you went to the Stanford Long Hauler Clinic, you'd get LDN, something we've been using for many years for autoimmune diseases and a lot of conditions. So those are my favorites.
Yeah.
But every case is a little bit different, whether you developed an autoimmune disease with it, POTS, etc. It needs to be looked into. So, boy, it really kicked off a lot of these autoimmune things.
Yeah.
Kicked off a lot of cancers, too.
Yeah. Megan, I hope that helps. And I see, let's see, Girls Love Nature. As of right now, we are not able to see patients that live outside Virginia or Tennessee, but I will say we are working on that. And keep coming back to the show because we will. You'll hear about it here first. So not yet, but it is something that we're working on actively as we speak, but not right now. But thank you for being here. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get to Roel, and then I'll get to Robin. Doctor, I heard that a big study on vitamin D with K2 recently, and that it helps grow telomeres. So telomeres are kind of that marker that I guess tells you how long you're gonna live, something like that.
Yeah, the telomeres are like the caps on the end of your chromosomes. They look like a little plastic part of your shoelace that keeps your end of your shoelace from fraying. Yeah, that's a telomere practically. And when it gets shortened, your life is shortened. So you want to keep them long. I've actually had mine checked.
I remember.
It's a special blood test. I don't know how accurate it is, but it said I was like 15 years old. Kidding. No, but I was about 10 years younger than my stated age, it said. Of course, who knows if they're blowing smoke up your skirt. But I haven't heard that study, Roel. I'm huge on D with K. I can imagine it does. It helps everything else. So, and people don't realize, I had a patient today didn't realize they needed K2 with their D. So doesn't surprise me a bit. I certainly like to keep those D levels up, and you have to have the K2 in there. So I'll have to look that up, but it won't surprise me. It surprises me they've done a big study on it because it's a vitamin.
Well, that's a great comment. And look at Danny for the win. Malden salt. That's exactly what it is.
Yep, that's right.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Danny, for that. Okay.
Supposed to be the most non-toxic form of salt.
Kim got it as well. Yeah, Malden. Malden is the salt we were referring to. Okay, let's keep moving here. Let's get to Lisa. Lisa, we hope you're feeling better. I've injured my Achilles tendon pretty bad. The back of my heel is seriously painful, hard to walk. There's bone fragments showing that on x-ray. There's also a hard knot on the back of the heel. Ortho thinks it's ready to just pop off. Anything I can do to help with this, please, and thank you. Well, Lisa, we're thinking about you, and thank you as always for sharing the broadcast. What's your thoughts on this for Lisa?
Yeah, don't avoid participating in the NBA playoffs. Don't do that because you're going to snap your Achilles.
That's a reference to Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah. Yep. And so did Kevin Durant a couple of years ago. But
yep.
So if you have Achilles tendonitis or you've partially torn it, which is what it looks like, you got to really take it easy. I'd almost get in a boot until it heals up a little bit. That hard knot is your Achilles trying to heal itself. But it's not fun to have Achilles tendon surgery. I can tell you, I've been in on many of them in surgery and watched them wire them back together, and it's about a year off, at least from participating in anything like pickleball. So you're at great risk for rupturing that thing. Here's one thing you could do is get a hold of some injectable BPC 157 and inject it in the area every day for 30 days. You can read about it. I don't know if that's available in your area or not, but certainly it's off label, but that's something I would probably think about doing.
Yeah.
But you can take curcumin, ice it down, stay off of it. do anything you can to and get some physical therapy.
Yeah.
They can do some things like stem treatments and autophoresis and some things like that. Or like Ernie Dixon could heal you. He's really good at Achilles tendons, to get rid of some of those calcifications, which is that hard knot, maybe even bone fragments. I don't know. That's what you saw in the x-ray, but that's a tough injury. Try to heal it before you do a lot.
Lisa, I hope that helps just a little bit, and keep us posted. Keep us posted with how you're doing. Real quick, I missed Robin here. Sorry, Robin. Is your red light mat a full body mat, and is it Lumara? And do you know what brand?
Mine's not a full body mat. It's about 3 feet long. But I've laid on the full body mats at some of our seminars, and they're nice. I mean, they are nice. Blankets and all that. Mine is Lumara. I love my Lumara. That's a very good, reputable company. I love them.
Thank you, Robin, for that question. Let's keep moving. Get it to me as we can next couple minutes.
The thing about that thing too that I have, you can move it to different parts of your body.
Yep.
It really focuses on different parts. I wrap it around my knee sometimes if I have knee pain from pickleball. I use it on my back and my entire spine every day. Really helpful.
Yeah.
Really helpful.
Big believer in red light.
Yeah.
From Leanne, what's your opinion on sea moss, colostrum, moringa? I've heard you talk about all three of these. What's your thoughts on this?
Probably my favorite one is colostrum. The others, and moringa, if you can get it, is a good one too. But gosh, they're just, especially the colostrum, for gut problems, every one of those is helpful. And they're all kind of anti-inflammatory, but colostrum's my favorite one. My daughter Kelly is taking that now, and it's really kind of healed her gut. Yeah.
Really? Colostrum.
Yeah, she has more energy too.
Yeah. Thank you, Leanne, for that question. Man, I'm seeing a lot of this. Pop.
Classical gas. That's the hardest guitar thing you could ever. Man, if I could play that, Roy, I wouldn't be here on this podcast. I'd be out playing somewhere.
Jack is a guitar teacher. He promises not to judge. We might need help, but we might need to.
Classical gas. Mason Williams is who. I listened to classical gas back when I was in elementary school, and I've heard Tommy Emmanuel play his version of it, and that's even better than Mason Williams. Believe me.
It looks like I missed a question over here. I'm back on Instagram. Curious about testosterone dosing in women. What dose do you typically use on women who are normal but on the low end of normal, experiencing symptoms consistent with low testosterone? It's a really common question we get, so I'm glad I saw this. Sorry, I missed it. Let's answer this for C. Boyd here.
Yeah, I usually, if I start somebody out on a newbie on testosterone, a woman, I usually use a low dose cream, like 1 milligram a day in a cream, and then go from there. Check levels. Sometimes it's really low. I'll start at 2 milligrams a day. Sometimes we'll even do injections if they just don't want to put the cream on. And my average dose is like 12.5 milligram weekly. So somewhere in that range. It just depends because some people absorb it differently. Some women, if you get too much, they'll get hair growth and all that they don't like. But you always have to weigh the risk versus the benefits. And certainly if you got low T as a man or a woman, you need to replace your testosterone. It's the one hormone that's the most important one as far as the way you feel. And again, I don't go by labs as much as I do how you feel with it. But that's about what I usually do.
I hope that helps. Over here on Instagram, I believe I got to everyone else here. Leanne's asking which colostrum. Do you have a brand that you like?
Let me get that for you because I want you to try the one Kelly's taking. It's very effective for her.
Leanne, will you come back next week and we'll have that brand because my sister is using it.
I don't have it on the top of my head.
But we will get you this brand. Come back next week and and ask this same question, and we'll get to it.
We hope we can remember.
Yeah.
What if we can't?
Do you want to leave us in song? Or should we intro in song next week?
Maybe we'll intro and
Intro
song.
next
I'm
week.
not warmed up. I'm not
Yeah,
loosened up.
yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot like that.
Yeah, let me get loosened up. If
Yeah.
you want to hear Norwegian Wood, Blackbird,
But also, like, we're already getting
Hang
tens.
on Sloopy,
We're getting
House of
tens.
Rising Sun,
Like, if you
Louie, let's say that one.
you could bring down our show. You know, like, we got to start.
Well, Brad's a much better
I
player
know.
than I am, so we'll
I like this from Rich. Thank you, Rich. Joel Green has a great human lactoferrin product. Thank you for that, Rich, for putting that in there. Thank you, Leanne. Guys, let us know how we did. We're going to call it a show. Let us know. What we'll do is that we're getting a lot of requests here.
Golly, the Slash
I
Godfather.
love the Slash.
Yeah, I could get my hat. You know, I'm not Slash.
Guys, let us know how we did. We're going to call it an evening. We appreciate y'all so much for being with us tonight. 7 to 8, we do this every single Tuesday. Let us know how we did. I see Tom's going to be in Kingsport on Thursday. I love it.
Hey, Tom.
And we got some, he wants to show you some compression stuff. Definitely want to check that out. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck, it's so good to see you. Chuck, so good to see you, man. I hope you're doing wonderful. Chuck's in Knoxville.
Man, I know Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck, for being here. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate this. Debbie over in Australia, thank you. Happy Wednesday to you. Connie Lynn, thank you. It seems like, we've had an amazing show. No.
Need to go watch some Wimbledon.
We need to go watch some Wimbledon. Guys, thank y'all so much. We'll be back next week. Thank you, Instagram. We are going to call it an evening. Remember, guys, if you're not signed up for the email list, performancemedicine.net, sign up for the doctor note. Goes out every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Thank you, Roel. Oh, yeah, Connie Lynn wants to see the dogs. Guys, y'all want to come
out on Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Tuesday at 3. What did I say?
You said Wednesday.
Tuesday at 3. Performance Weekly goes out Tuesday at 3. Y'all want to come up?
Okay, come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. There's this one. Get Ike.
Ike, come on. Come on. There he is. We got both. We got both here tonight. They're sleepy. All right. See you guys. Thank you, Brother Steve. I love you. We'll see you guys in a bit. We're calling it a day. Where's my outro at, Brad?
Don't go away.